Flashback.
Many years back in my college days, I told my friends, what are we doing with our lives? There was so much intense talk between us, blood flow increased, heartbeat rose. We decided it is time to do something. Later on this same day, after our classes, we ate snacks and went home without even thinking about our conversation. Moving on to the recent times, I was requesting the same friends to install apps with referral links so we both get benefits of cashbacks. But this is not the case for many business tycoons who achieved so much. Let's hear the story in this video series. Indian startups have attracted billions of dollars from venture capitalists all over the world. Old business models in India and elsewhere are seemingly being disrupted by new wave of technological waves. At the opposite end, non-performing assets are increasing in the banking system and the fraudsters of some Indian promoters are making headlines almost every day. The Unusual Billionaires, book by Mr. Saurav Mukherjee, is the in-depth stories of the journeys of 7 companies are almost like a highlights package of corporate India's achievement and inflection point over the past few decades. In the ups and downs of these companies, there are many lessons for all of us in the success of these companies. One lesson is that clean and well-managed companies cannot just survive but can actually thrive in India. A promoter who looks beyond his own and his family's selfish interest can achieve a lot for the company, for society, and for shareholders. Secondly, hard work and integrity will never go out of passion. Hello and welcome to all. Saurav Mukherjee sets 3 conditions to define great companies in financial terms. Define companies. The companies should be listed because it will be regulated by Big Boss SEBI and should have a market capital value of minimum 100 CR. Define long period. A decade long is enough to measure a company's financial performance. A decade in India usually accommodates both the up and down cycles in the economy. Define superior financial performance. Removing bias in choosing winners and uses 2 filters to identify great Indian companies. The companies must give 10% revenue growth and 15% return on capital employed for every consecutive year over the past decade. Based on this data crunch, Saurav reaches a grim conclusion. Over 99% of the 5,000 companies that are listed in the India simply fail to fulfill his filters over the past decade. Now the question is, why revenue growth of 10% every year? For last 10 years, India's average GDP growth is 14.5%. A company in India should be able to deliver sales growth of at least 14.5% per annum. By being modest, this filter is reduced to 10%. Why ROCE? In simple terms, return on capital employed measures how a company uses its capital to generate profits. Why minimum ROCE of 15%? In year 2016, Indian government's 10-year bond gave 8% risk-free returns. The equity risk premium for US market is 4% and additional 2.5 to 3% for Indian markets. In total, it is 15%. And also in past 20 to 30 years, Sensex delivered 15% return. For financial sector, the conditions are return on equity should be greater than 10% and loan growth rate should be 15%. In simple terms, equity is explained as value of an asset minus total liability. CCP is coined by American fund manager Robert Kirby. It is a buy and forget approach. In early years, Americans used to save their valuables in a coffee can and keep it under a mattress and forget them for a long period. PayPal founder Peter Thiel in his book 0 to 1 says that venture capital invests in a portfolio of high potential early stage companies, expecting a few of them to hit exponential growth and increase the value of the fund multifold. The increase in value takes place over a period of time, with the top 1 or 2 firms in the fund becoming more valuable than all others combined at the maturity of the fund. The first among the equals. Mr. Saurav finalizes 8 companies after applying his filters among all the listed companies. These 8 companies have shown that it is possible to deliver sustained growth without compromising on long-term profitability, a test that 99.8% of the 1,500 largest listed companies in India fail to meet. The stories of these unusual companies are rich with learnings for rest of us. Chapter 2 Asian Paints 7 Decades of Excellence. Around year 1942, a temporary ban on paints import during World War II resulted in an opportunity for domestic production. Spotting this opportunity, a 26-year-old entrepreneur, Champaklal Choksi, and 3 of his friends, Chamanlal Choksi, Surya Kant, and Arvind, set up Asian Paints in Mumbai. By 1967, Asian Paints had become the largest paint company in India, a position it holds until this day. Champaklal passed away on 31st July 1997, also the last day of his family holding a stake in Asian Paints. The families of other 3 founders continue to own 52.8% of the firm's share outstanding. 7 decades of growth history. Choksi was good in identifying consumption trends and patterns early and devising strengths around them. Instead of focusing on industrial segments like other companies, he concentrated on consumer-facing segments. Distributors denied doing business with him, so he took to the villages to sell directly to the shopkeepers. Shopkeepers in smaller towns felt pampered while dealing directly with the company rather than dealing with the distributors. They were also getting the product at better price. The company's ability to understand consumption patterns are legendary. During the Pongal and Pola festivals, villagers worship their bulls. Choksi noticed that these festivals brought with it a unique demand for painting the horns of the bulls, where the paints were required in bright colors and in smaller quantities. He saw this opportunity and succeeded in breaking into this market. Similarly, the bottom panels of the front doors of the homes in Tamil Nadu have smaller stripes painted in red and yellow, which is considered auspicious. This was yet another market for Asian Paints. A poor household will always color its entrance door even if they do not paint the rest of the house. Also, the cattle stick their horns into mud and marsh. So the product packs have to be small and the quality of the product has to be long lasting. As demand for these products rose, as a result of this, the larger distributors in bigger cities who previously didn't want to sell their product started partnering with the company. Choksi kept noticing gaps in the consumer demand. In the cities, for example, he saw the difference between plastic distemper and the more expensive plastic emulsion paint. Dry distemper was cheap. It had a tendency to peel off, stick to clothes, and stink badly. On the other hand, plastic emulsion was free from these problems but was 5 times costlier than dry distemper and hence unaffordable. Thus, during the 1950s, Asian Paints launched the washable distemper, placed between dry distemper and plastic emulsion. This was supported by a highly successful advertising campaign which said, "Don't lose your temper, use tractor distemper." Asian Paints became the country's largest paint company in 1967. Choksi realized that scaling up the firm's operations subsequently required developing abilities to handle the complexities of an expanding direct-to-dealer distribution network and streamlining of systems and process across various functions. To overcome this hurdle, Choksi started hiring fresh graduates from IIM and IIT and offered them complete authority and responsibility in their roles. In the early 1970s, Asian Paint bought its first mainframe computer. It's kind of a supercomputer at that time. Interestingly enough, this mainframe computer was not used for payroll or administrative processes. Instead, it was used for demand forecasting and improving service levels across the country. This data analytics helped their sales far beyond competition for other peers. Asian Paints collaborated with overseas companies, took steps for modernizing its operations and also launched its IPO in 1982. On 31st July 1997, Choksi passed away at the age of 81. After 8 months, his son Atul sold his 9% stake in Asian Paints and exited the company. After this episode, Asian Paints hired management consultants Booz Allen Hamilton to guide them on the way forward and also started to procure IT from third-party vendors. Asian Paints secret sauce. Asian Paints concentrated only on paint industry. Another industry leader like Jensen and Nicholson saw a steep decrease in market share due to unrelated diversification in sectors like financial service, weigh bridges, weighing machines, and hotels. Asian Paints is among the rare companies whose boards are truly independent. Their board is composed of 14 directors. Of these, 6 are part of promoter families, 2 from each of the 3 families, 1 CEO. The remaining 7 independent directors are credible individuals with relevant backgrounds. Promoters gave clear instructions to family members to not disturb professionals. Asian Paints followed the path of innovation, implementation of technology, utilizing data analytics, friendly relationship with the dealers, distributors and shopkeepers. professionals, supply management, improving brand power, etc. etc. Cash generated by companies are invested back in its business. Asian Paints astonishing share price outperformance. A rupee invested in Asian Paints in January 1991 is worth rupees 299 in April 2016, a compounded annual return of 25%. That same rupee would be worth just rupees 26 if invested in the Sensex, a CAGR of 14%. Thus, Asian Paint has outperformed the Sensex by 11.6 times over the past 25 years. I hope this video was useful to you. In my next video, I will talk about beautiful journey of companies like Marico and HDFC. Subscribe to this channel, like, comment and share, and thank you.